languages that we code in, or maybe 3 or whatever, but if you write all your server stuff in something that's not JavaScript, writing the validation for forms, we have to do that because it's for security, right? You don't want someone to do like SQL injection. That's okay, that makes sense. But the other stuff just kind of falls away. Yeah, well, there isn't really an HTML fallback, whatever. Everybody has JavaScript turned on, right? That's kind of stupid. There's always some guy at the front with his phone. Hello? No, you should answer it. Come on, let me have the phone. I'm going to call that person back. I don't know why he's nervous, I seem like a perfectly nice individual. So basically, I like to think of this one as, what would Crockford do, right? Do the right thing. We want to do the right thing, but when we use other languages, it's like you have to build the thing twice. Nobody wants to build it twice, so if we have the ability to build it once with JavaScript and run it in both places, I'd say it's not free. Maybe there's like 10% glue code, 10% that's different between both things, but hopefully the vast majority of the code that we use works both on the server and the client, so we get progressive enhancement for almost nothing. So, remember, start tattooing on yourselves. What would Crockford do? WWCD. So the TLDR version of that, JavaScript, server-side JavaScript is awesome, like a unicorn riding a narwhal. Thank you. Don't clap yet. Clap now. Oh yeah. I'm just going to leave this one to hang for a minute. Alright, I think I'm done. So YY3. YY3 is awesome like a narwhal riding a unicorn. Oh yeah. So what do we like about YY3? It's modular. It's sandbox. So what I mean by modular is you can use, obviously everything's split into like really atomic components. So unlike YY2, we had some like broad brush sections. I want the calendar, I want this, I want that. In YY3, things are like really atomic. You can just be like, I just want the Ajax bit that just works with JSONP. I don't want the rest of it that does, XHR Ajax, I don't care. Really atomic. It's very modular, you can dynamically load that stuff in and out. It's sandbox. You can run multiple YY3 instances on the same web page or in the same server environment. You can run YY2 instances inside YY3 on the same page. And they're independent so that they don't kind of screw each other up. That's pretty cool. The component loading is great. You can just, it's yy.use whatever component you want and it grabs it and it figures out what the dependency tree is. So you don't have to go, yeah, well, today I want to use this, so I have to figure out all the things I need. You just be like, yeah, I want the calendar. Get me everything that's required in order for me to use the calendar, and it just poof, does. I should use, whenever I have like a proper microphone like this, instead of the pellet, poof, the voice of God. I like that. Just a little thing I do. And then, I guess like other libraries, but we have, because we build this for Yahoo primarily, right? We build something and then we share it because we hope it's useful for you, but we have a team of like maybe 10 or 15 guys. I don't know, Ryan, how big's the team? There he is. It's about 15 people that work on this. 15 people, and they're really quite smart. If Crockford respects our JavaScript team, they must be okay, right? A little bit? Not even a teeny bit? Yes. Yes, thank you, one person. And then we have the community, right now, YY3, 50 plus extensions, blah, 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 right? So, and then it's not just about manipulating the DOM, there's lots of other stuff in there. So that's cool, right? That's my very brief YY3 pitch. Script loading, remote I/O, events and attributes, all the kind of stuff that you expect from a library, right? This is awesome. And it's awesome like the unicorn, or the narwhal riding the unicorn. I hadn't forgotten. And obviously we have a rainbow. Can't really tell, but we have a rainbow. So how do we get this running on nodes? This is the primary focus of the talk. How do we actually get this stuff to be useful? So the first thing is that who's heard of CommonJS? Hands up, people that've heard of CommonJS. Okay, out of the people, keep your hands up. Okay. Put your hand down if you don't know about the require spec. Okay, so out of the people that have heard of CommonJS, maybe half of the people that have know about require. So this is the way that CommonJS works. Yeah, you don't have to keep it up anymore. Unless your armpits are all sweaty, you want to share that with your neighbors. The way that this works is basically, in the server-side JavaScript world, if you want to use a module, you say, I want to require that module. And how that looks on the module side is like this. So I say, if type of exports, so we have an exports array, or an exports object, is an object, then exports.yy equals yy. So it's really simple. I basically tell the module that's, so the JavaScript that's going to pull this in is just going to look for the exports object, and then it's going to use that to get all of the things that it can use. So it looks like this. We're now doing some stuff where we're changing the function. So you can see that we're changing the way that logging's happening so that we're now logging into the server. So where's my pointer? The useless clicker. So sys.error, some of this stuff. You don't have to know all this stuff really well, but sys.inspect is node stuff. It basically turns an object into a string literal of that object, so you can kind of see what it's doing. And then sys.log is outputting, and sys.error is outputting to the console. So we've done two things, right? It's really, this is how easy it was to get YY3 running on Node. The first thing we did was we exported it. The second thing we did was we fixed the logging. Then that was it. That was literally all it took to get YY3 running on Node, which is awesome. Because now we can do this. I'm British. Hello, world. Gavna. Apples and pears, mate. You have to mix it up, because otherwise a hello world example is shit. So I quite like doing this style, and actually this style is becoming fairly popular for the people that are doing server-side JavaScript at Yahoo. And it's basically, you can just not include this line, but if you put the hashbang in, it means that you can just run these with like dot slash the script name, and it will call node for you, so you don't have to type node blah 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 script. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know, I just prefer that. So if you're using a node already, this is kind of a neat trick. And then all we do is we're doing this require thing. So this is the CommonJS thing, right? var YUI equals require. We then point to the library that we want to load, and then .yyui. So if you remember, we exported the YUI object into the exports object. So so we're saying we just want, out of this module, we want to load the YUI function, right? And then we do y equals YUI, y.log. Hello world. And then clicker really doesn't want to click. Maybe it's the stand. Yeah, I don't know. I like the fact that my radio clicker needs direct line of sight, apparently. No. Apparently it needs to be within like 30 centimeters. Okay, so we did that, and then you can see that we can also do it this way. So this is more like YY style with chaining, which is cool if you like chaining. So required blah 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 .yyui.log. So chaining also works, right? If you run either of these, it's like that, /, and then it's logging. So far, this is a really dumb example, but you can start to see that doing this whole server-side JavaScript thing is fairly easy. And particularly if you've used YUI before, you know, I have access to all of these YUI tools that I'm familiar with, so that's great for me. Maybe it's less useful for other people, but hopefully some of this stuff is going to translate into the libraries that you like better too. Not that I don't recommend giving YUI3 a try. So the thing that's great, or one of the things that's great about YUI3 is we have our own loader, right? We have our own module system, and we have all of these modules that do stuff. So the next thing that we do is we enable the YUI loader, and you can see that what we're doing here is we're taking some of the stuff that typically we would be doing XHR requests for, and now we're swapping them so that we're actually now using nodes inbuilt systems, right? So now we can write a script like this. And I start pointing at stuff. So we require YUI again, same thing, and then we have this YUI object. We've put a filter, so when we've initialized the object, we pass it a config, and the config is literally filter debug. So I want all the debugging information. And then YUI.use, so this is I want YUI to go and get me a bunch of modules that I can use while I'm programming.